choose you. Be cool, baby, okay?
Hey, bitch, come here. Got your motherfucking man, come here.
Mr. Pretty Tony, I mean, you know the rules of the game. I mean, your bitch just chose me. Now, we can settle this like you got some class, so we can get into some gangster shit.
Fuck being on some chill shit. We go 0 to 100, nigga, real quick.
Hey, what up, what up, what up? It's at KMGZ on Twitter. This is Thanks for Asking KellzPodcast. I'm back after a long delay. I apologize, but I explained to y'all. So I'm going to just jump right into it. I got married last Friday, March 22nd. And just I was just the anticipation and the buzz and the anxiousness up to it. I just really couldn't sit down and record anything that was going to be worth a damn. So I just had to get it all over with. Now here I am. I'm back. I put a few pictures on Twitter. I'm not this. Like I said, I'm not a whole post my whole life on the social media person. But I mean, I post myself. I post her. I post a couple other things. Not nowhere near all the pictures that we took. But anyway, it was a great day. It was amazing. Everything went according to plan. We had which I was nervous about. That's what I was really nervous about because. We got it done at City Hall, and like it's just you have to pick a time, and I was just nervous that like something was gonna go wrong, it was gonna hitch, and something was gonna go wrong. Nothing. It went perfect. It was a cakewalk. It was easier than I thought it was gonna be. So boom, got that done. Not for nothing, and I said this on the TL, and people thought I was trying to flex, but I really wasn't. It's gonna take a minute to get used to wearing a wedding ring because. I'm not a ring wearing person. I mean, I wear rings, but like when you wear rings for jewelry, you take them on and off. You don't wear them all the time every day. I don't. You know what I mean? So, and that's one of the reasons because things on my fingers, I don't know. So I have this, oh my God, I have to get used to it. Like just being on my finger, and I'm paranoid. Every time I wash my hands, I take it off. You got to take it off so many times. I'm afraid to lose it. So I went and got these little ring stands. And so every time I take it off, I put it on those particular ring stands so I won't forget it because, but it's a lot. Like people say it take a month or two for it to feel natural. It's not that it's annoying. It just doesn't feel natural on my finger, if that makes any sense. But yeah, it's amazing. I'm glad. I don't feel any different. I don't know. I'm happy though. I'm glad I got it done. I really I'm not sure if I said on here, but we really were pressed to get it done because with these courts in this country trying to go back to slavery, we don't know what's going to happen. So we look, if there's any protection to be had and having this shit already on the books, as opposed to, trying to get something after it and pass some stupid shit, then let's just do that. So yeah, that's that. I don't have a lot to say. I mean, you follow me on Twitter. I post a lot of stuff. It was me. We had our two witnesses, which was her cousin and then my friend Richard and his husband. So it was great. We went to a nice dinner after. And, we just had a nice day. It was nice. It was just what I wanted. Always low-key, laid back. I always said if I ever got married, I just didn't want to spend a whole lot on the wedding. I'd rather, put that in the shit we want to do going forward, be in a honeymoon, a vacation, or a house, or whatever the case. I just never wanted to spend that kind of money on a wedding. I've just always thought it was not a good use of funds unless your parents paying for it and they determine they want to do all that, then fine. But we got a lot to talk about, so let's move on. But yeah, I'm real happy about that. Thanks for all the congratulations. Thanks for all of that online. I saw y'all. I couldn't respond to everybody, but thanks a lot for it. Appreciate it. Now, what do I want to go? Oh, I had a pink eye. I used to get pink eyes when I was little quite a bit because, I play sports and, you outside, you're in the dirt, you falling down, whatever you're doing, you might rub your eye. Look, you get all kind of shit now. So I used to get pink eye a lot when I was young, but I haven't had it in years, and I got one last week. Luckily I got through the wedding, but the day after I woke up, my eye was fucked up and had a big sty on it. I don't know. Only thing I could think of is Thursday. Was it Thursday? Yeah, I think Thursday I went to get my hair cut, and my barber is also a breeder, and he has dogs in there. And sometimes I don't know if it's certain breeds or if he hasn't swept properly, but sometimes when I go in there, my eyes and throat already get irritated from the dog hair. And he had this dog in there that he said this nigga, I call this nigga Greenpeace because he's always rescuing animals. And he had this dog in there that he said he found tied up to a pole, so it was a rescue dog. And I could just tell as soon as I stepped up in there, my eyes started, I was like, oh, I think I'm allergic to something in here. And so my eyes started getting irritated, and I was careful not to rub my eyes with my hands because, I was in a barbershop, wasn't able to wash my hand. I had pet the dog. Like, the dog was trying to, wanted to get pet. And if a dog come put his head on you to pet, you got to pet him. So I pet the dog, and I did rinse my hands in the sink, but I don't think I washed them well enough. So I was careful not to touch my eye with my hands, so I was rubbing with the sleeve of my shirt. But I think I got a piece of hair, or I don't know. I think it came from that because I wasn't having. It was nothing I could think of that I would have done to have gotten a pink eye prior to that. So that kind of sucked. A pink eye, it hurt a little bit. You be looking fucked up. Your eye be all swole up. Look like you got punched in the face. So that was not fun. But I got my little medication and got rid of it. What do I want to talk about next? I'm gonna save that for last. Spring is trying to spring, but it ain't quite yet sprung. I don't think winter want to give up the ghost. Winter's like, bitch, you're gonna have to, I'm not leaving, you're gonna have to put me out. And so thus far, spring has not really been successful. I know it's only like April, and April and March, it could be, some days it'd be 70 degrees, some days it'd be minus 70, especially here in New York. Like, there's really no spring in New York. It's like cold and then it's hot. And then you have this little in between called spring where it could be cold or could be hot, but you never know. So, don't get too comfortable. Like today it's like almost 60, but it's a little brisk. But yesterday was cold. The wind been cutting, the hawk been out. It's been cold. It's been rainy, it's been cold, it's been miserable. So yeah, I don't know. Spring, I'm gonna give it. Sometimes you could give spring. It'd be the second week of May, and spring still don't know. Got her shit together and got her good wig on. So we're gonna see. So couple things that I wasn't gonna talk about before that, but have come up in the meantime. The first one is the raid on Diddy's house. Now look, I already talked about this with the Cassie situation. This what I want. It's a couple things I want to say. First of all, be it Diddy, be it Russell, be it Bill Cosby, and people were kind of saying this on the TL, and I think some good points were made. But it's like, a couple things. First of all, stop thinking that every rich black person is a black leader. They are not. These people are celebrities. I keep saying this to you all the time. They're entertainers. And unfortunately, most of them in this day and age, outside of whatever the content they give, they don't really contribute much to anything, to the culture, to the people, to forward movement, nothing. Most of them are just there for a check. It is what it is. Back in the civil rights movement, like I said, Aretha, all of those people, they were very involved. They helped Dr. King. They funded Dr. King. They made sure that they were on the right side of things. These new celebs, they either they oblivious, either they have wrong fucking opinions, either they're just as susceptible to misinformation and propaganda as anybody else, or they Trump fans. So, it's a new day and age. Stop putting these celebrities on pedestals. I feel like a good part of what is wrong in America is nobody has any sense of self anymore. And I'm not really quite sure how it happened. I think I have my theory. I just think when the cause to a lot of things, in my opinion, when we stop letting kids grow up normally, which means going outside, joining sports, making their own friends, dealing with their own problems. If you lose, you lose. We're not giving everybody a trophy. Everything not being about feelings and trying to cultivate these little perfect Instagram experiences. When we stop letting kids develop normally, I feel like it's when we shifted to this culture now where it's just like nobody has a sense of self. It's like everybody is trying to live up to reality TV or what they see on social media, and nobody just can be themselves. Like, And I think that's what's behind the incel thing, the red pill thing, because it's like, oh, I'm obnoxious and a very unpleasant personality, and girls don't like me. So instead of just, hey, you know what? Maybe for girls to like you, you need to be a little bit more social. Maybe you need to be not so much of an asshole. Maybe you need to get off the video games and try to get a little personality. Maybe you need to get into sports, get something that makes you interesting. No, we're gonna just, turn into these raging incels. It's like, because it's just this. I feel like going on 2 generations now of kids that have been raised to where they feel like everything, they're not supposed to have to adjust to the world is supposed to adjust to them. Girls are supposed to be nice to them just because they want them to be. They're supposed to be popular just because they want to be. In our day and age, look, if you wasn't popular, you wasn't popular. That's it. You got out of high school, you went to college, you made something yourself. Nobody gave a shit about that anymore, because who the fuck gets stuck on high school? But so with this Diddy thing, we got all these people online. Oh, they're attacking him. Oh, they're trying to bring our black leaders down. Number one, like I said, if you think that these celebrities are black leaders, you're part of the problem. Number two, look, and somebody said this and it was right. People look up to and see themselves in these people, or see something that they want to attribute to. Oh, I want to be the hip hop mogul. I want to be this. I want to be successful like that. And they empathize with those people. And so when these people do terrible things, because they have made an idol out of them, or they feel like they're the same as them, then they got to defend them down because, oh, he's a rich black man, he's a successful black man, he was about to buy a Tubi, that's why they coming after him. And it's like, yo, I was just as disappointed in Sean Combs as anybody. When that Cassie suit came out, like I said before, we all heard the stories about the hitting the guy with the kettlebell, and we knew Puff would, the champagne bottle and the record label, we knew Puff would go off. But in my opinion, kirking out on about industry shit and hitting dudes with bottles, that street nigga shit, that's different than sex trafficking, raping and abusing and drugging women. And that's different. Like, that's a different thing. Some people think, oh, it's all violence. I don't really think so. If I know a guy who fights dudes, like, oh, yo, homie got hands, don't fuck with him. He doesn't hit women, though. He doesn't. That's different to me. Somebody that hits women is a different kind of violent than just a dude that, like, hey, the nigga might punch you in your mouth. Like, he's not the one. Be careful. He fights. You know what I mean? And I always thought Puff was the first kind. So when I found out he was the second guy, look, I was as disappointed as anybody. Same thing with Russell. Same thing with whoever else is going to come down. But hey, it is what it is. When these people do this type of shit, look, I mean, he gonna have to pay. I mean, we'll see. I mean, so far the house been raided. Apparently, I don't know. It's hard to read. I mean, I know one thing. When the feds come to raid your house, they've been on you for a while. I thought it was interesting when the Cassie thing broke, and then I think somebody, I can't remember what news agency, I think it might have been New York Post or New York Daily News, one of them tweeted that this lawsuit was in conjunction, there was a separate secret criminal investigation on Diddy around the same set of circumstances, and then they came back and was like, that's not true. The NYPD came back and was like, that's not true. There's no criminal investigation, which I thought was a little weird. And then now they raided the house, so clearly there was an investigation, because you don't get warrants to raid houses. The feds don't, out of nowhere. It was a Homeland Security warrant that raided, and they're claiming sex trafficking and all this stuff. And if you read the allegations, now some of them seem a little far-fetched, some of them seem a little made up, some of them look like they might have came off the Shade Room, but I feel like just what Cassie alleged consisted of sex trafficking. Basically, a lot of people don't really understand what sex trafficking is. If you are moving people, minors, even worse, but if you are moving people around against their will or without their consent or without their knowledge to make them engage in non-consensual sex, and you're moving them across state lines and across borders, that's sex trafficking. And Cassie alleged that she was sex trafficked, and that he has done this and is known to do this. And they say his sons were involved. I don't know. There's a lot of, put it like this. There's been a lot of smoke around this whole situation. If y'all remember the post that Misa did, where she was talking about the I think when Justin got arrested for drunk driving, but it seemed to be more to it than that. It seemed that the way her post was worded, it seemed to be referring to more than just that incident. Like, it seemed to be like she was just fed up with a lot of things. So look, where there's a lot of smoke, there's fire. Like I said, the feds coming for you. When they come for you like that, they pretty much have been following you for a while, have the information stacked up. Now, this other lawsuit from this other producer dude, I'm going to admit, there was some stuff in there that I was like, I don't know, bro. Like, that sound like you kind of made that up. They had pictures in the complaint, but the one thing I will say, I'm not sure if those complaints that were on the TL with the pictures were the actual complaint, because people Photoshop and do the AI and shit. So I'm not really sure if those were in the actual complaint, because those pictures made the complaint seem like bullshit, because they were saying somebody was Stevie J, and it's not. It's this porn dude, which is what made me think that they might have been altered, because I don't know that I, to my knowledge, your pleadings to the court have to be a certain way. They have to conform with the court. And unless I'm mistaken, you don't put pictures in pleadings. You might send them, maybe you can do them as attachments, I think. But I'm not even sure, because in New York, the pleadings have to be basic. They have to be simple. You plead your basic case. You plead your allegations. The evidence and all that shit comes later. Like, you won't attach, to my knowledge, unless there's something that I'm missing or I don't know about. You don't attach proof to your pleadings. Your pleadings are just basically, hey, this is what we're alleging on such and such date, this is what we'll allege, and we will, then you have discovery and you have all that shit, and that's when all the evidence and stuff comes in. So I'm not sure that pleading was the actual pleading, because I was like, who puts pictures in here? But I just find it odd that after Cassie's suit and after that suit, that's when the raid comes. So almost like, yes, there has been a criminal investigation, and Cassie may have gave them some pieces, and this lawsuit may have gave them some pieces, because when the house was raided, Cassie's quick statement was, hey, we're happy to help law enforcement or whatever, which kind of sounds like she's saying, hey, I'm cooperating. You need to know anything, I can tell you where he keep this and keep that. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it seemed like. It also seemed like Diddy was attempting to flee the country, because they found him in Miami on his way overseas. Now, it could have been a coincidence. Maybe he was just going, I don't know, but the timing seemed weird, because his sons were at the house and he wasn't. And the sons are named in the complaint. So apparently he got detained in Miami. They caught his drug mule caught him. He wasn't placed under arrest, which some people have taken to mean that this is all about nothing. But I'm like, to me, what it means is, if you know how the feds move, when the feds come for you, they come. So if they are still gathering evidence and they know that this is a big fish and we only get one shot and we can't come with some bullshit, they might not want to arrest him. They might just want to collect the drug mule, collect these other people. We don't know who other evidence they have, who else is going to come forth. So to me, it actually doesn't bode well that they didn't arrest him, because it says to me, oh no, bro, you go ahead, you free to move. We gonna raid your house. We gonna take this evidence. We gonna keep investigating, and when it's time to come for you, we'll come for you. So, I don't think that them still allowing him to move is an indication that there's no case, or that they were putting on a big show or anything. I think it's an indication that this is serious, but they're not gonna actually come get you until they got you solid, because they know you got the big lawyers and all of that. And the fact that you're coming with this witch hunt language with Trump, all these guilty, Harvey, all of them, whenever they get caught, oh, it's a witch hunt. When you see people start saying witch hunt, I don't even know why lawyers use that. Like, somebody should tell y'all, when y'all say that automatically lets people know that you did it. Like, nobody, like, only guilty people use that language. Only guilty sex offenders use that language. They all use it. It's a witch hunt. Okay. That doesn't even fit your situation, actually, but, whatever. If I have a lawyer who tells me that that's his PR stance, I'm getting me another lawyer, because I'm like, bro, you about to send me to jail because you are completely out of touch. You don't even know that. Don't sound good at all. That sounds like I did that shit. But yeah, we'll see. But like, I just need people. It's not a conspiracy, y'all. These people have done these things. They're accused of these things. They've been found guilty of these things. It's been alleged of these things. There's been proof of these things. That's it. You got to learn. Listen, stop making these people your heroes. These are not heroes. These are celebrities. The people in you got firemen, you got doctors, you got engineers, you got all kind of black successful people who are not rappers and athletes, who are politicians, and who are sometimes preachers, who are school teachers, who are leaders in your community, who are good role models, who have more realistic outcomes than being Diddy or being Jay-Z and all these guys that y'all think y'all gonna be. Those are people you look up to. Those are our leaders. The people who are in Congress trying to fight for our rights and stop this decline that has come about because y'all didn't want to vote. These are the people who are leaders. These rappers and athletes, they're not. And stop looking up to them and stop acting like because they are called to the carpet and have to be accountable for the things that they are doing, that is some kind of conspiracy. Y'all sound very stupid. The other thing that I want to say is somebody on the timeline said this, and I really think that they're onto something, because they're like, why is it that Diddy and Russell and all these L.A. Reid, like, why are all these dudes always trying to sexually assaulting and doing all this shit? Like, why can't y'all just create and get y'all music? And like, why does it always have to be this bullshit? And I think somebody said that these rich black men, they don't feel like they are really living up to their potential until they can do all the depraved shit that they see these white men doing with no accountability. And I think that's true. I think that's absolutely true. I said, because, I'll get on here and I say, man, these motherfuckers, they want to be white men. They just want to stand in the room with them and be accepted as equals and have them patting on their backs. And that's what they think made it. And I think that that's a true statement. I think that really, I feel like they feel like Harvey, because that's always their defense. That's always their defense. Well, the white people do it. It's like, Harvey did it. First of all, Harvey and them did it, and Harvey and them got caught. That's the whole thing about Me Too, is they got caught. But the thing is, that argument never worked for me, because why are you arguing that you should be able to be as depraved and criminal and irresponsible and unaccountable as white people? Why? What kind of argument is that? What got us here? Their depravity, their unaccountability, their inhumanity. That's what got us here as slaves. But now, all of a sudden, because that's your hero, you want to throw out, well, white people, every time it's, we don't care about what the white people do. They are not the standard. When you say stuff like that, you really show that you really believe the same thing about black people that white people do. You believe that we can't comport ourselves or behave in any kind of civilized way in the absence. Everything has to be as compared to the white person, as if we really truly were running around like monkeys in the trees when they got to act like we didn't already have our standards in the way that we behaved and the way that we act, and y'all just act like, if the white man wants to come and shoot somebody in the head and not get in trouble for it, why can't I shoot somebody in the head and not get in trouble? Why is that your standard? Why is your standard too? Why can't I be as depraved and fucked up as this motherfucker and nothing happened to me too? Why is it your standard? That's fucked up. You shouldn't behave like that. Lock that motherfucker up. And don't let him go just because he's white, because that's depraved behavior. Why is it always y'all want to do the same things? And I think it's because, like that person on Twitter said, they don't feel like that they have reached the level. They don't got enough money. They don't got enough power. They not really on the white man's level because they want to be white men, low key, high key, until they can do the same depraved shit and get away with it. And I think that's what explains all this shit. I really do. Until I can be as non-accountable and as horrible. I mean, because look, who was the first one that spoke up for Harvey Weinstein? Russell Simmons. They all want to be white men. They all want to be white men. They don't want to be all this king and dignified, and that they don't want that. They want to be as depraved as they don't want to have to be accountable. And that's a lot of black men, not just rich ones, but these are the ones we're talking about at the moment. So yeah, Diddy is in trouble. And let's just stay in it. Well, this is all in the same vein. The other thing I want to mention is it's been a lot of chatter lately about Candace Owens and being on Joe Budden and a couple of just listen. There's never any, unfortunately, there's never any shortage. There's never too far to look or reach out where you can't find a black person who will allow white racists, white supremacists to prop them up and let them be we're not racist. Look, here's our black person saying the same racist shit we're saying. Like, we all know that game. And unfortunately, it's just never hard. There's always one. There's always a black person that's willing to say there's no racism. There's always a black person willing to say black people are lazy. There's always a black person willing to say, for a check, we need to pull ourselves. But always through time, it's always been a person. So that's not shocking. But what is shocking is how people didn't used to be as susceptible to it. People used to recognize that for what it is. People never really if you did that shit, and I mean recently, as much as the 90s, 80s, people be like, oh, you a coon, you a sellout, and they didn't pay any attention to you. You wouldn't get on no black podcast. We didn't do that. But now it's like these people are being paid, and make no mistake. It's not a coincidence that Joe Budden podcast, Joe Rogan podcast, The Breakfast Club, all of these same programs have this same tone. It's no coincidence because they are all owned by these corporations who are pro-Trump and who take money to be pro-Trump and to put these put these people on there, and because they think that we're stupid, and like again, they think all you have to do is dress up racism with a black person and we'll buy it. And unfortunately for some people, primarily black males, but not all, some dumb bitches out here too, trust me, they eat it up. And what is shocking to me is that after all this time, after we've seen what they did, after we've seen what they pulled, after we've seen what they tried, some people still don't recognize that they're being targeted intentionally. They really think this shit is real. I've heard people saying, oh, well, this is all the same old, same old. No, it's not. It's not the same old, same old. Yes, there have always been propaganda. Yes, they have always targeted us with, put a black person out there that, we got tape of Malcolm X and all these people. There's always a black person, Uncle Tom, as they say, that they will put out there. But the difference is, again, they were not received well. That was more to make white people feel like they're not racist. It didn't really work on black people lately. And I want to couch my words carefully because I understand that how we are voting. We are still voting male and female, black male, black female, still overwhelmingly Democratic, overwhelmingly against that shit. But the fact that it's not 100%. Is crazy. And not just because, and it's not just, look, if there have always been black Republicans, there have always been black conservatives, always. But, and that's fine. This is America. You can be conservative if you want to. But where the line always stopped is even the black conservatives, even the black, whatever you want to call them, whatever name or categorize you want to put them in, they were not against the progress of black people. We may have disagreed with how they spoke about black people and what they thought the solution was to help black people. We may have been disagreed about that, sir. Cozying up to the white people are not going to help you. Trying to fit in more with them is not going to help it. But their goal was not to purposely work against black people. They may have just been misguided about how to get there. these Clarence Thomas type motherfuckers who just really self-hating black people who make it their mission in life to make every other black person suffer because they hate who they are. Those were the outliers. When Clarence Thomas got confirmed to the Supreme Court, no black people supported him. Everybody saw that nigga for what he was. This motherfucker's a coon. This motherfucker's worse. Nobody supported him. The difference now is because of a few things. I think because of No Child Left Behind, where the education system went to shit. People don't read. People are not as educated, not as well read as they used to be. They don't recognize this shit when it's coming for them now, and they think it's new. And they really think that these guys like Charlemagne and Envy and Candace, they really think they're saying something when they're not. They really think these people are smart. They're not. There's a difference between being articulate and being intelligent. A lot of stupid people are articulate. That doesn't mean that they're smart, and it doesn't mean that what they're saying is true. Don't let people, the way these motherfuckers get up there and fast talk y'all nowadays, it's just really amazing to me, because all you need is like a basic knowledge of history to push back at these people, but they don't have that, so there's no pushback. So I think that just it's people keep saying, oh, this is just like they've always done. No, because your grandmothers and your great grandmothers and them, they had maybe 8th grade education. Some of them, I know some of them graduated high school, but back 40s, 50s, listen, black people, especially in the South, they may not have graduated high school. They may not have, maybe they graduated high school, but these were, blue collar workers. But they still had enough sense of the struggle and understanding of what was needed for us that they did not fall for that kind of bullshit. And nowadays, people fall for that kind of bullshit, and people really think that those are sound arguments that they're making. What have the Democrats done for us? The Democrats have done everything for you. Everything that you have gotten since the emancipation, which was done by the Republicans back in the 1800s, but actually since all of us have been alive, everything that has been done for you has been done by the Democrats, because the Republicans, the party of Lincoln, when the civil rights era came along and people wanted to have civil rights, they switched over to the Republican Party, and that became the racist party. So but if you don't know that, if you don't know anything about your history, which a lot of people seem to not have, because not only were you not taught in school, that's one thing. To not be taught in school, that's one issue. But you're not taught anything else at home, and that's the difference. We were taught at home, or at least I was, because I had a daddy that had to run from a lynching. We had grandmothers and grandfathers who had experience with the Klan and who grew up working as sharecroppers in the fields and in Jim Crow. So they knew what that shit was, and they told us about it, and they knew the Uncle Toms and all that shit. And now it's just like, I don't know, it's a different, people don't recognize that they're being targeted. These people are being paid by Trump, who's Putin and Russia, and people who ultimately want to bring democracy down are funding these people. These are not like just random conservative voices that these people are, hey, we need to target black people. We need to get black people to not vote for Biden, or we need to even better get them to vote for Trump, or keep them to stay at home. We need to suppress the black vote. We need you to go out on these urban stations and say these old ass, racist ass, recycled ass rhetoric, and we need somebody that's articulate and knows how to speak so that people will eat it up, and people are eating it up, and that's what's crazy to me. The level of the ignorance is so high. The lack of knowledge of anything is so high. The fact that all somebody got to do is give you a stimulus check, and you think that they just like are the best thing in the world. It's like, I don't know, like the standards are really low. The pride is really low. The sense of self is really low. The susceptibility and like all this fucking Gaza shit is like, y'all are so susceptible to propaganda. It's crazy. You got people out here really talking about they not gonna, and black Americans in America, where you live, where your rights are under attack, you really got people out here talking about they not gonna vote for Joe Biden, don't vote for Joe Biden, because of some shit happening on the other side of the world that ain't got nothing to do with us. Like, that's how people are nowadays. That's how stupid people are nowadays. They really think that what's happening in the Middle East, which, not for nothing, them motherfuckers go to war every 20 years since any of us have known anything. They really think that that's something that black people should be focused on at this time. Don't get me wrong. That's a bad situation over there, but that's not my problem. They have to figure that out the way they figure all the rest of it out. Like, I'm not concerned with that. I'm not gonna lie, because here they're trying to take us back to Jim Crow. So whatever's going on over there, that's them people problem. They're gonna have to work that shit out. They ain't got nothing to do with me, and I don't want to hear about it because we got our own problems here. Okay, we gonna be in the hurt locker here. Them people have to worry about their own shit like they've been doing. So, but you got people falling for that. You really got these people talking about that shit. First of all, none of the people talking about know any fucking thing that they're talking about. I bet you they can't even show you Gaza on a map. They're just like, these motherfuckers that just swear they being so woke and so progressive, and all you're doing is eating up propaganda, mistreat and retweeting misinformation, and don't even know where this shit is coming from. Don't even know what's behind it. Just hashtagging, trying to look smart, trying to look like you know something. You the dumb as fuck because you're the exact ones that they're trying to target with this bullshit. You're the exact. Why are you a black woman in America talking about Democrats are the bad guys? Don't vote for Democrats because of some shit going on in Gaza. Like, are you stupid? Are you dumb? But yeah, you are, and you're the exact ones they target. And I want people to, I just it's very frustrating to be in 2024 after all we've seen and still see y'all falling for the same okie doke. When are you going to learn? You see what this man did. You see what this man has done. News keep coming out every day about this jinx that this election stolen that I told y'all they did, this coup that they attempted, and like, I don't know. There's all kinds of theories out there about why Merrick Garland isn't doing anything. I personally don't agree with any of them. I don't think it's some long strategy. I don't think it's some grand scheme. I think he's afraid to do his job, literally, because he is afraid to be called political. He is afraid that if he goes after criminals who have tried to bring down our democracy, somebody's going to say he's political, and so he's just not doing anything. That's what I think. And I think he needs to be removed, and I think they need to have an AG in there who was about that life, who's about going after this shit. What else? I didn't want to rant on that a lot, but it's been little. I've been listening to different little podcasts and seeing little takes on TL, and it's really bothering me because people are trying to make this like this is business as usual, and it's not business as usual. It's not. This is a very concerted effort to have Trump be back in office so that this country can be made into a totalitarian dictatorship. And people keep thinking it can't happen, but it can. It can. And once it gets done, it's not easy to undo. Okay? And I need people to stop thinking. I just need people to stop trying to be so fucking smart and think they know everything, because I promise you, you don't. You're being manipulated. These people understand how to, they have had communists and dictatorship for centuries. They know how to get people to believe bullshit. And a lot of you are believing bullshit, and you're basing your politics and your policies and your stances on propaganda and misinformation and things that are being fed to you by people who want to use you to help bring down the country. And if you want to be on that, oh, well, America could come down, look, okay, I don't know where you think you're going to go. If America falls, everybody falls, because we're the ones that keep everybody else in check. If we're not in check, nobody's in check. So I don't know. Whatever. Them kind of people, I just nod and smile, because it's like, all right, okay. You can't even really survive a day without an iPhone, but you think you're going to be able to be a communist or whatever the fuck. I don't even know what the fuck y'all be thinking, but just dumb shit. Which kind of leads me to my next subject. I realize these are all actually way more related than I thought they were going to be. But, yo, Eric Adams is a fucking clown. bro. I cannot wait. I keep checking when is the election to vote his ass out. New York City, we have to vote this dude out. This dude is a big fucking dummy. This dude is a fucking cop who got elected mayor. Okay, and not even like a polished like Bratton type, career politician. This is some little fucking borough chief ass clown ass dude, Mayor Mixie. Yesterday, tried to go to the MoMA. They got now I know Joe Biden and all them came to visit yesterday, but y'all don't have to have all of Manhattan shut down for shit. Normally, before, when a president comes, they shut down his route, but once he's through, and I know this because I used to work at PwC and they used to come through there all the time, and they would shut down the route for him to come through, and you could tell because all of a sudden all the cars on the street be empty, and you be kind of like, what happened? Did you see the limos come by? So, but once he goes through and he's not going to come back that way, they open this shit back up. They don't keep the whole city on a Thursday before Easter, lock the fuck down. That shit was only done so that them cops could be out there and get the fucking overtime. They got 12 cops on each fucking corner, useless as fuck, staring at their phones, no help, nobody can get nowhere. These dumbass tourists just standing there, standing up against the gate like, yo, move. Like, oh my God, it was so fucking frustrating. Eric Adams has to fucking go. He is the worst. He is the fucking worst, and I think he's a Republican plant. As I said, they saw they couldn't make it with Yang, so they switched over to Eric Adams. That rank voted is bullshit. How he got voted in is bullshit. And I don't know who's going to run next, but I'm voting for them. Fuck it, I'm bring Bloomberg back at this time. Bring Bloomberg back because this is some shit, man. We got libraries is closed. All this shit is closed, and these fucking cops can be in the goddamn subway stations 12 deep doing not a fucking thing. People still getting shot on the subway. People still getting beat up on the subway. And these motherfuckers are standing on the platforms every fucking station, at least 5 of them, not looking around, not being trying to, if you're gonna be a cop in the subway, be a cop in the fucking subway, be vigilant, walk back and forth, let people see your presence, you know what I mean, be a deterrent. No, people gotta come, y'all be on the platform, people gotta come drag y'all, sir, hey, they fighting over here, sir, it's a fight on the train, officer, are you gonna do something? Them motherfuckers be staying in their phone, nothing. I'm so sick. This nigga is, he's got to go. He's got to go. He's got to go. Please, New York City, we have to make him a one-term mayor. I don't care who come after him. He got to go. He's the fucking worst. All these fucking cops out here ain't doing a goddamn thing but collecting overtime and sucking up money. He is the fucking worst. And he got clowned on the Breakfast Club because he went on there with that bullshit, and that black female attorney had the facts and the data for him and ate his ass up. And he thought he was going to try to fast talk her and talk over her and bullshit, and she made his ass look fucking stupid. Like he is. Oh, he's the fucking worst. Worse. I ain't think it could be worse than de Blasio, but he's worse. Jesus Christ. Nigga don't do shit but show up to parties. Bum ass nigga. Alright. My last topic of the day is Cowboy Carter has dropped. This is one of the most magnificent albums I have ever heard. I said the same thing about Renaissance. Personally, right now, this might change. But right now, to me, I still like Renaissance better than Cowboy. It's close. Because, to be honest, Cowboy Carter is really my type of album. The pop, R&B, country, that's my 80s, 90s type big, hey, this shit, we gonna have all the collabs, we gonna make good fucking music. This is really my type of album. Only reason I say Renaissance for me had no skips. It's a couple songs on here it's one song I don't like at all. Spaghetti, get it out of here. It's the other song. It's not that I don't like it. I'm just not as I'm not as crazy about it as all the rest. And that is Tyrant. It's okay. Shit, here, let me press it. It's okay. But the rest of this album has how many cuts? 27 cuts, and all of them are amazing, man. I'm gonna tell you my favorite right now. Blackbird, I think that's beautifully done. Texas Hold'em is my favorite. I'm sorry, I think that shit goes. That's my favorite song on the album. Bodyguard, Jolene remix. I said Get Spaghetti Out of Here. Alligator Tears is okay because I'm a favorite. Two Most Wanted, Beyonce and Miley Cyrus, to me is the best song on the album. They both, I mean, they harmonized perfectly. Miley was like, I know what you think you about to do, girl, but you're not. I'm about to go in this studio and I'm about to set this booth on fire. And the song is just a lovely song, a beautiful song. Levi's Jeans with Post Malone, my other favorite, beautiful song. My top three: Two Most Wanted, Levi's Jeans, and Texas Hold'em. But when I say favorite, I mean by like skintillas. Like it's a whole bunch of other songs on the podium too. Like I like almost every song on here. It's an amazing album. That's two in a row. And this is what I want to say. I get so tired of these motherfucking Beyonce stans telling me, you don't like Beyonce. That is not true. I have never dragged Beyonce. I have never said I don't like her. What I've said is some of the music is not that great, and objectively it is not. And if you think that it is, then you're a stan. If you listen to that Lemonade album and you put it next to Renaissance and you put it next to this and you think those three albums are comparable, you might be a stan. Okay? Lemonade was overrated. It's not me saying it was overrated. It's objectively. That's why I wasn't on the charts that long. That's why I kind of came and went really quickly. I liked Daddy Issues. A lot of people didn't like it, but that was my fifth song on that album. I also like Sing Sing Chills. A lot of people didn't like it. But really, that album had like 4 songs that anybody liked, except for the stans. If that's me dragging her, then fine. I'm sorry, but I haven't really liked anything since there was 4. There was Self-Titled. Nobody liked I Am Sasha Fierce. We all know that. I liked 4. I liked Self-Titled. I haven't really cared for anything after that until Renaissance. Lemonade, to me, was overrated. It was not the best album of the year. It wasn't even the best album nominated. And like I said, people now have admitted that Anti was the best album that year. But even if you didn't want to give it to Anti, which wasn't even nominated, Harry's album, Adele's album, all of those albums did better that year and had more hits on them. Taylor's too. It just is what it is. Okay. I've never said I didn't like Beyonce, but I'm not a big fan. I like her. I've just never been a big fan, and it's because a lot of her music, just like I just said, just doesn't. I didn't really rock with a lot of it. I don't like the ballads so much. I love 4, which a lot of the stans don't like. We've always said, Beyonce stans is really what y'all is what get on our nerves, not her, because it's just the living through her, she's the greatest and nobody else compare, and it's just objectively not true. Not that she's not great, yes, of course, but like all of this, she's better than this person, she's better than that person, objectively that's just not true. Okay, she has 2 classic albums now. I'll say 3, Beyonce, but some people might not, but these 2 for sure. But this is the music that I want. I hate when people act like it's like this. Music is not as subjective as people think. Yes, we all like what we like, but the reality is every classic song that we know, every classic album that we know, every great artist that we know, they have gotten to that level because they have a catalog and a backlog and a hit after hit of solid songs that they put out. Stevie Nicks, Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, Diana Ross, Stevie Wonder, Sam Cooke, Michael Jackson, Prince, you name it. When Purple Rain came out, nobody had to sit with Purple Rain. When Thriller came out, nobody had to sit with Thriller. When something is a hit, my whole life, I have never had to sit with anything. When I've heard something and I heard it was great, when I heard Sound of the Times for the first time, that's fucking great. When I heard U2's Bullet the Blue Sky, like whatever it is, you name the album that's a classic album that is one of the great, that's in the Rolling Stone lists or whatever however you want to delineate it. First time I heard them, I knew it. And that's most people. Most people don't have to say, you guys can't say if something is classic. Yes, yeah, you can. You absolutely can. And I promise you, whatever listening you're doing is not more sophisticated. None of y'all are fucking Beethoven or y'all are just sitting and you like stuff. And just because you like it, it doesn't mean that objectively it's the best. And I just get tired of people saying I don't like. That's not true. I've never said that. I just said that y'all putting her over Michael Jackson's crazy. I still say that because Michael Jackson is just... There'll never be another him. There's never been a star that big. Not saying Beyonce is not huge, but not big, not that big, okay? Not that big. And anybody within the sound of my voice who has sense, who knows what Michael was in his peak, knows that to be true, okay? Not greater than Prince. It's not like, it's not a knock. Like, her little fan base is so annoying because, number one, their taste is terrible. Most of them, they don't really have the knowledge of music that they think they do. They only listen to R&B, certain songs. So when they make these grand pronouncements, it's like you don't even know all the music that like you're even comparing it to, and you don't know how stupid you sound. Like you sound ridiculous. Like she's not the most prolific songwriter because such and such is. She's not. It's y'all are annoying. But this album is amazing. This is 2 in a row. I love it. It gives it gives very much, like I said, 80s, 90s, when everybody was iconic and on their game and putting out these classic albums that we still listen to. This is what it gives. It is very well thought out. It reminds me of like very Americana, like. Again, like just in the 80s when everybody, Dolly Parton, Tina Turner, everybody, Bruce Springsteen, when they were putting out American albums, like this is America, this is how we roll, this is our music, this is our it gives me that. And that's why I love the album cover that had everybody. Why would you have an American? First of all, shut the fuck up. We have an American flag because we in America. I hate to break it to y'all. We live in America. We Americans. If y'all want to do all that shit, that's fine. It's America. You can be as dumb or annoying as you want to, but just know that you sound dumb. Okay? We are Black Americans. That's our flag too. We built this country. This is our country. Our culture is here too. These white people don't own anything independent of us, okay? So if you want to let them take that shit from you, you go ahead. Yes, we understand all the violence that's been done of America. Again, I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck about nothing done overseas. I'm only worried about what they do to us here, okay? No offense. But, like, that's our flag, too. And if she, who is a black person from Texas, where rodeo and Western and all that shit is just, like, ingrained in the culture, of course she's going to wave American flag on the cover of an album that is meant to bring the knowledge and respect back to the original cowboys, which were black men. The reason it's called cowboy is because they wouldn't call black men back in the 18s and 60s or 18s and, you know, late 1800s when cowboying was a thing, when they were driving cattle and all of that shit in the early part of the country after the Civil War. They were called cowboys because they were black. Okay, y'all let America take a lot of your history and a lot of your background and tell you that you never did anything, and it's not true. Cowboys were always black. It got turned into that white shit with John Wayne and them, but originally they were black. They were the ones driving the horses, doing all the work, etc., etc. Like everything else in this country, when we do shit so fly and so live, then the white people want to copy it and make it their own. So I don't have a problem with a black American woman waving the American flag because she got a right to wave that flag because her ancestors, same as mine, fought and died for this country, same as mine. Our blood is in this soil, same as mine. Her ancestors enslaved, same as mine, and everybody the rest of y'all's. And we fought in every war this country has, just like them. We fought revolutionary to Vietnam, to every single war, and this is our country too. And if I want to wave the motherfucking flag, I'm going to wave it. I don't care about your dumb black ass on that bullshit gotta say about it, because this is my motherfucking country and it ain't nowhere else for us to go. It ain't nowhere else where our grandparents bled and died and marched and sacrificed, so your stupid, ignorant, stupid ass can sit up here and talk about, oh, why would you be waving the American flag with everything going on in Gaza, and why would you be, shut the fuck up, you dumb, shut up. Y'all sound so fucking stupid. You don't know anything about your country and your history. And if you're an immigrant, recent or wherever, you shut the fuck up too, because we tired of y'all. Y'all came here to the country that we built. And I'm not talking to all of y'all. I know some of y'all know, but all of this thing y'all try to do where like y'all some separate entity, get the fuck out of here. Y'all came here for the opportunity that we provide. Okay, like I always say, if you so much better and you got so much, go back to where you came from. Why you had to come here? You couldn't make it in your island. All y'all black, all y'all the same, but somehow you get here and it's no systems here. It's just we lazy. Like I don't have no patience for that. I don't. Because the flag that you wave is a colonial flag anyway. So, like, what are you even talking about? Like, I need y'all, if y'all gonna make these statements, I need y'all to have a fucking range. I need y'all to read a fucking book. I need y'all to know fucking something about anything. If y'all are just gonna keep on with this bullshit, you don't want to wave the flag again, you don't have to. This is America. You don't have to walk around wrapped in it. But to tell another African American from the South, from Texas, why are you waving an American flag on a country album that's about cowboys and Western culture? Western culture, because you Southern motherfuckers try to act like you do everything, act like cowboys is Southern culture. Since when? Since when? Nobody was driving cattle through Georgia and South Carolina and North Carolina. Cut the shit. You might like cowboy culture. You might have rode horses and all that, and I understand that. But the rodeo and the cowboys and all that shit she's doing, that is Western culture. That is Texas, Oklahoma, the Western territories. That's where that was from. Nobody was driving cattle through Georgia. Cut it out. Okay, and we know y'all have the Native American tribes down there and all that, and you know, there's a lot of overlap. We get that, but like, please cut the shit. Oh, that's Southern culture. No, it's not. It's not. Louisiana, Texas, all that shit. Texas we got from Mexico. Louisiana, we got in Louisiana Purchase. Those are the Western territories. That was Western territorial culture. Nobody in the South historically was a cowboy. Cut it out. It may have migrated over later. You get people moving around. I get that. Your daddy's from this place and that place, and y'all right. I mean, and honestly, it's not even contained to the South. They got stables in Philadelphia. They got stables in Baltimore. They got all kind of documentary. They do rodeo everywhere. I know people in the South think y'all are the only ones to do everything, but you're not, because everybody in the North that's black originated in the South. So we all took those traditions and everything right on up north when our grandparents jumped in the cars and said fuck this Jim Crow shit and went on all up north. We took all that shit with us. There's a whole riding club right in Philadelphia, PA. I know they got stables in Baltimore. It's not just in the South. I promise you it's not. They got cowboys everywhere. I know they got them in the Midwest too, and out California too. Oakland, California, all that shit. Like Central Valley, Western culture. So first of all, y'all ride Beyonce's jockstrap a little too much for me anyway. The lady is just making music, okay? She told y'all what this flag was for. Y'all try to make her be so political. I don't really think she is. What I mean is, like, I think that she does whatever message she wants to send, she sends that, but I don't think it's any deeper than that. I don't think she's this complex. Oh, I'm going to do this and this is going to symbolize. I don't think so. I think that she's waving the American flag because that's what she did in Texas. They ride rodeos, they wave the flag. This is our culture. Here you go. This is what I'm putting on. I don't think it's any deeper than that. I don't know why we're discussing Gaza and all this Ukraine and all this other stupid shit because Beyonce wants to wave the American flag on her country-ish album. Like, please, I need y'all. It's so much going on that can be, like, discussed and tackled that is so obvious, and y'all keep running into all this old silly-ass shit, and it's frustrating. It's a great album. It's an amazing album. I have listened to it 3 times. I have always gave her credit where credit is due. I just have not liked when them couple albums, all that Love is Love or whatever that shit she was doing with Jay-Z. Oh my God, please make it stop. I hate when couples make couple out. Please, I don't want that. I don't think Rihanna's gonna make an album, but if she do, I swear to God, it better not be her and Rocky on that bitch. I don't want to hear. I don't like that. You make your shit, they make their shit. When they start doing them couple out, it's just very corny to me. I can't stand it. I just didn't like it. I didn't like that Bonnie and Clyde bullshit they did. I didn't like whatever that other bullshit, adult contemporary shit they did. Please, I don't like Beyonce rapping. I know you're like, oh, she should rap some more. No, she shouldn't. I don't like it at all. I don't. Please. Unless it's gonna be like that Tina Marie in the song type rap, but I don't make it go away. Yeah, like I mean, it's a no skip album for most people. I don't like spaghetti. I'll skip that every time. But it's an amazing album. Like I'm so like blown away. People talking about, oh, she's gonna get album of the year for sure. Again, I told y'all how I feel about that. If she get it, she get it. If she don't, she don't. It's not gonna take away from how great this album is. And I wish I would shut the fuck up about it. I feel like at this point, I just don't feel like at this point they're gonna give it to her, because it's like, sis, we tired of you begging about it, we tired of you getting mad about it. Maybe they will. I don't know. Somebody said it's kind of hard to snub a album with Post Malone. That's true, but I still don't think. I still think if anything they'll give her country album. That's how the Grammy. I think the CMAs might give her something, but I think if anything they're gonna give her best country album or best pop album or something like that. I just want y'all to prepare for they might not do it again. I feel like at this point she's Susan Lucci, where the whole thing is like, girl, okay, it wasn't that serious, but now made it serious and it came here. Your husband done insulted us, so I'm sorry. We not finna give it to you now. Like, keep that same energy. That's what I feel like it's gonna be. It's gonna be some keep that same energy shit. And I mean, honestly, I can't blame them. I thought that was in very poor taste. Like I said, I thought it was beneath them. Like, make your music, let the people love it. Renaissance was like shook the world, and everybody turned out, and like that should have been enough. I mean, I just don't like the begging for awards. I don't think any classic album was made any more or less classic because it won a Grammy or not. Matter of fact, did Prince win Grammy? I don't think he did. Didn't they give it to U2? I think they gave it to U2 that year. I might be mistaken for Sign of the Time. It's so many greats that have made great albums that have not gotten that award. To be just so pressed about that award, it's a little silly to me. But I mean, hey, if you're a person who likes to collect trophies, then I might get it. Because I know, like in sports, hey, nigga, if it's an award that is supposed to be given out, give it to me because I'm the best. So I get the sentiment, but at the same time, like, that album is gonna speak for your legacy more than some Grammy. It's gonna be that album. Ain't nobody gonna be like, oh, let me see the Grammy. No, they're gonna be like, put the music on. That's all I'm trying to say. I mean, I can't speak enough for how good this album is. It is whatever, creative stuff they was doing over that COVID break. God bless them, because this is so well done. It is so well done. And all of y'all that play albums the first time on shuffle, y'all, they need to call the feds on y'all. That I don't understand people to do that. Sequencing is part of the album. The artist puts the songs in the order they put it in so that you can get what they're trying to give you. This album is about Black American cowboys or Black Southern. So they sequence that in a way so that you get that feel. If you don't listen to the songs, it's not a playlist, it's an album. If you don't listen to the songs in order, what are you doing? You're not getting the full experience of the album. I don't understand that. The first time the album comes out, play it in order. She puts the intro there for a reason. She put the prelogue there in a reason. She put 16 carriages where she did, and there's a little run of songs there that only make sense in the order that she put them, and that's when you really get like how great this album is. A lot of y'all listening to albums out of order, and no wonder you think that such and such an album was not that great. Like, what you ain't listened to the album. Like, that, I don't get that. That's like when I don't know, somebody paints you a beautiful picture and you come in and rip the picture up and want to put it together the way you want to put it together. Like, what are you doing? Yeah, that's all I want to say on that. I mean, I wish I could say more. If you haven't heard it yet, you got to listen. I mean, it's nothing. I don't have anything to say other than it's amazing. Like, I don't have no critiques. I can't say anything other than the shit is amazing. I told y'all my favorite songs. But I mean, they are all fire. They are all just like Renaissance. put that shit on and fucking play it. And there's nothing on there that is not amazing. Like, it really is. And this, I think, is probably going to be, well, I don't know, because I think the third album is, the third album, it's going to be, it's giving classic rock vibes. If you listen to American Requiem, the intro, I hear that rock in there. You can hear that rock in that intro. And I'm like, okay, I see what she's about to come with. It's given almost like a Freddie Mercury, like Queen, like classic late 70s, late 70s, early 80s, like I said, rock, pop, tease. I hear it. You can hear it. It's a couple other songs you can hear it on, but listen to that intro and the guitar and it's a rock album coming. So we'll see. But right now, I think this might be the best album that she has ever produced. Ever. Of them all. Objectively. I prefer Renaissance just a little bit more. Like I said, I don't know why. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it came out at a time when we were all like just kind of finally done with COVID, and it's like all of that, let's shake it off and let's get out here and let's dance. Maybe that's why it came as it was such a uplift at a time when people was like, just like, yo, please, enough with this shit. And it was just such a party vibe and just let's get out here. Maybe that's why I prefer it. But this is the best album she's ever made, in my opinion. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a stan. I'm not a huge fan. I like her. So this is not some, slobbing out my mouth. The stans think everything she does is just the most genius thing. That's not this. But I'm telling y'all, objectively, over the years, out of all the music I've listened to, this is a classic. This will be a classic. This will be the album when people everybody like has that, every great artist has like that one album, like for Stevie, I mean, he has a whole bunch of classics, but the songs in the Key of Life, for Janet, it's, I don't know, some people say it's Velvet Rope. I actually think it's Control for Janet. For Michael, it's Thriller. For Prince, it's Purple Rain. Like every artist, even though they have several albums, there's that one that when Bob Marley is Legend, there's that one album where if you have to introduce the person to this artist, you play that album. I think this is going to be the album for Beyonce. Diana Ross, The Boss. There's that one seminal album that all the greats have put out, and it's like, yes, and all the other albums kind of peel off of that one. I think this is the album for her. It is so well rounded. It's all different genres. It's the country, it's the pop, it's Zydeco, I think it is, that one song. It's some like Texas, I don't know what that, it's some hip hoppy, these are the kind of albums that people used to put out in the 80s and 90s that we still listen to this day. That's this album. More so even that Renaissance is my favorite, because Renaissance is very much a dance album. And so I think, it's, put it like this. You got Michael Jackson, Off the Wall, which is my favorite album, which I think is his best album, but everybody says it's Thriller, right? That's what I feel about Renaissance. I feel like Renaissance is the album that really showed, like, she went off on, but this one is gonna be the Thriller. Like, this is gonna be the album, I feel, because of how just across the board appealing it is. Like, there's something on it for everybody. There's a groove on, I promise you, every song. If you don't like maybe you don't like the country banjo, right under there is going to be a drum. It's a groove on every song for everybody. I promise you. You can do a two-step on every single song on this album. You're going to find something on every single song. So, very well done. I'm looking forward to the third one now. If it's what I just got a feeling it's going to be some classic Americana rock, classic albums, like think of Queen, think of Joan Jett, Springsteen, Stevie Nicks, um, 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 that type of vibe. I'm trying to think. Tina Turner. Who else? I'm trying to you get that late '70s, early '80s rock, pop, MTV type vibe. Eurythmics. Um, um, I just feel like that's what we about to get, because you can kind of hear it. You can hear it in some parts of Cowboy Carter. You can hear it, especially in the intro and the outro. Um, that's that big band, big rock, big sound, late '70s to like '83 ish, before Mike really took over sound. Maybe even some, maybe I don't know, maybe past that, maybe some Guns N' Roses type. But y'all know what I'm trying to say. The MTV generation, Gen X, y'all know what I'm trying to say. That type of rock music that we all got introduced to via MTV and the radio, and before everything got segmented type shit. John Cougar Mellencamp, you know what I'm trying to say. That type rock, I think, is what's coming. And so we'll see. So lastly, because I haven't done this in a while, I just want to tell y'all what I've been watching. Some really great stuff on TV lately. A lot of it is on Apple TV. So if you don't have that, and I know everybody ain't trying to do the streaming, I get it, but Apple does have some really great stuff on there now. Manhunt, which is about the search for John Wilkes Booth after he killed Lincoln. Shogun, which on FX, which I know a lot of y'all already hip to. If you're not, you get it, you're missing it. Masters of the Air, also on Apple TV. It's about the 100th Air Squadron of World War II. Listen, let me tell you something. Them people that fought World War II was brave as fuck. Them motherfuckers was flying around in them fucking paper mache planes, dropping bombs, and just getting blown out the air, falling out of planes, getting captured. Like, oh my God. It's like Saving Private Ryan, but for the air. The Right Cut, which is, I think, also on Apple TV, about Coco Chanel and Christian Dior. I already knew the stuff about Coco Chanel. I knew she was a Nazi sympathizer. I knew all of that. I didn't know so much about Dior and how the other side affected him. So it's very interesting on that learning, because I did not know that. What else am I watching? What did I say? Oh. A lot of y'all, going back to what I was talking about earlier, it's this special on Netflix, this doc on Netflix called Turning Point, about the Cold War. A lot of y'all need to watch that so y'all can understand a history, because I'm tired of these motherfuckers calling themselves socialists and calling themselves communists. You know what the hell you talking about, okay? Those are brutal, inhumane, starve you to death systems, and I just need I need people to stop being the dumbest ones. Watch Turning Point, because clearly a lot of y'all George Bush kids, y'all did not live through the Cold War. Y'all did not live through the end of World War II, and it's a lot of stuff that y'all just got fucked up. And y'all need to watch that and see what is really real. Okay, see what a lot of this shit that y'all get behind and be rah-rahing about is really about. Okay, and then the other movie that I watched was Zone of Interest, bro. Zone of Interest, I can't even, it's about this family who lived right outside the wall of Auschwitz, this Nazi family that he was in charge of Auschwitz. But like, and I mean, look, I've learned about World War II, we've read about it, we've watched the movies, we've heard the interviews, we've heard the survivors, but like to just see how how these motherfuckers were just killing millions of people, taking their clothes. Like they would bring them, like they would bring in the fur coats that they stole from the Jewish ladies, and she's trying it on, and the kids is playing with the teeth, just to see and to know that this is what really happened. This is not exaggeration, because there's been plenty of records, there's been plenty of testimony. We know this is what they did, and to just see these motherfuckers just act like they are not the fucking most barbaric, evil, inhumane motherfuckers. You are literally your garden. They in a pool swimming, sharing a wall with Auschwitz. You hear gunfire. You hear people screaming. These motherfuckers are just like going on about it just, you gotta watch it. I mean, again, reading about it, hearing it, seeing the old film, even, I get it. It's still, I don't know, the way this was filmed to just show that like this is what went on. Like this is how they did it. Like these motherfuckers literally just like they were going to work, and they were just. I mean, just so matter of fact and nonchalant about it. It was just you got. And I've watched a lot of Holocaust movies, and I've seen all the horror. Like I've seen it, but this one, it wasn't. The thing about it was, it wasn't trying to be that. It was just, this is what happened, and you just witness it. Like these motherfuckers really did just do this. These motherfuckers really did just really try to exterminate this entire race of people, and really just put them in trains and sent them to these camps, and just did this shit and didn't think it was nothing wrong with it. Just went home and ate dinner like it was nothing. Like, it's wild. It's wild. So yeah, I suggest all of those if you haven't seen them yet. Yeah, and that's it. That's all I got for you. Actually, my spouse, we can't decide what we want to call each other. I don't want to be called a wife. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But anyway, my wife, she's still here visiting, but she's not here now. She's with her cousin in Brooklyn. So, but tell y'all hi and all of that. Yeah, so I mean, there you go. There's the episode. Sorry for the wait. But thanks for listening. Thanks for your patience. Like me, rate me, tell a friend. I appreciate y'all sticking with me. And yeah, see y'all next week. Peace.